Good afternoon and welcome to Dive In with Captain Sean. I am actually having a little problem here with my stuff. Hold on for a second. All right, let's see if we can see. Let's see. Yes. All right. So anyway, good afternoon and welcome to Dive In with Captain Sean. Today's special guest, we have Heather Kearsley Wolf. By the way, this isn't my normal Dive In with Captain Sean. This is a spotlight edition on on luxury, and we're going to be looking at a bunch of different luxury brands as we go on. Everything from watches. We got a great episode planned with. We're going to look at the top 5 dive watches ever made. We're going to be looking at some of the best designers in the industry, maybe some cars, some other stuff too. Everything that has to do with luxury and design. So today we have again Heather Kearsley Wolf from Kearsley. She's 25. I'm going to read a little bio here. She's 25 experience in luxury interior design. Heather's expertise is unmatched. Her passion for textiles and craftsmanship traces back 450 years in her family's history, steeped in England's weaving and woolen trades. That was when they wore a lot of leggings back then. But anyway, fast forward to the 1990s. She noticed a gap in the market for top-tier, easy-to-maintain bed linens. Determined to excel, she embarked on a journey to northern Italy, collaborating directly with artisans to create a line of exquisite, ethically crafted bed linens, towels, and accessories. Today, Kearsley is renowned for its sustainable luxury, which she'll get into a little bit more later, attracting clients and designers seeking the perfect blend of quality, comfort, and ethics. And I'd like to welcome Heather to our show.
Hi,
Heather,
Sean.
how are you?
I'm well. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you perfect.
Yes, I switched computers.
That was good. You know what? The problem wasn't, it wasn't your problem. It was actually my problem.
Oh,
I had my speakers off on my end. But anyway, we're going to work through all these technical things. But you still look great.
thanks. We're now on my laptop.
So that's fine. That's fine. So Heather, so like we've known each other for a long time. I met you at the Newport Boat Show years ago. You were there putting some of your linens on some yachts at that particular show. And so today, what I'd like you to do is just tell us a little bit about Kearsley, the history, what makes Kearsley linens special, and then a few other things too. So basically, my first introduction to linens and what you can. I mean, you've taught me amazing things to do with linens. I mean, for instance, Halloween. That was a good suggestion you gave, and of course, how to dress your dog up and was always a good one, and then there's also pants, and of course, being a nautical show, if you're in trouble, you can always use her linens to set sail.
Well, to answer that question, I mean, and in part, as you know, my biggest thing is making sure everyone's taken care of in the process as well as clients, so that the people sleeping on them have the healthiest experience possible. So all of our linens are Ecotech Standard 100, which is the class 1, which is the highest standard in Europe, which means, when our pores open up at night, that's when we detox. We also absorb everything around us. And lots of sheets are coated with chemicals to have a good finish. I mean, we've all had that experience where you buy some sheets and 6 months later, they don't feel good like they used to. And that's because they're coated with chemicals that are hormone disruptors and just not good for you, not good for you on any level. And as those wear off, then the fibers start falling apart, and that's when they get rough. If you get really high quality linens like ours that are finished with pressure and heat, you're not absorbing toxins when you're sleeping, but as they wear, as you know, they get softer and softer, and they last a really long time. So that's part of it. Part of it is that we care for every single person in our process, from the people picking our cotton and picking our linen and harvesting our cashmere from the goats, all the way through the process of the people sewing and cutting and ironing and embroidering are all taken care of in the process. Oh, yeah. There's one of the cashmere blankets. Good stuff. I mean, you've had that a long time. It's still
That I'll tell you, that is it's like wafer thin, but it is one of the warmest, most luxurious blankets I have. I've got a friend of mine who likes to get away from his wife, and he takes a nap on my couch. I have to hide that blanket because he'll steal it. Anyway, so yeah, I hide that blanket. It's super comfy and it still looks great.
Yeah, that's a St. Anton cashmere, and it's been just one of our staples for a long time. I'm glad you still love it. I have one on my bed too. And then really it's about us. I'm a function before form gal. I can make anything look prettier the way that you want it, but I want to make sure that people are paired correctly with the right fabric for how they sleep, where the project is, how it's being laundered. We don't think about the fact that how your laundry is set up and what products you're using on your laundry are so incredibly important for what you can have and how long it will last and that sort of thing. And, also going back to that whole toxin thing, so laundry detergents are just toxic and disgusting for the most part. So you really want, a bio-friendly detergent like you would have on a sailboat. That's something that's going to break down in the ocean, safe for the ocean. Is going to be safe for you. So that's a big one for me. And the number one thing that I've always have to tell everyone, I want to make sure we have this, is washing your things in hot water, drying them till they're totally dry, or over drying them in hot dry will destroy the softness of your linens. And the only thing that can sort of revive them is steaming them with the steamer, which I don't know many people that are willing to do that. So
that's it's for the stewies that are or the stewardesses that are watching this show. You've actually worked closely with several of them. One a stewardess that I had, Haley in particular, you showed her some tricks, and vice versa. She showed you some tricks.
Yeah, she taught me to iron bed linens on the bed. It's a fabulous trick.
And so what's the difference between like in iron? Like, I mean, I know, like, personally, like, I like to get into iron sheets, but why do I like that?
Well, it's interesting. So the sheet on every fiber, we have longer fibers of cotton, but lower quality have shorter fibers, and it's the little ends that stick up that make that rough feeling. And when you iron those out, they're smoother. You don't have that resistance. I mean, if you think about something like sandpaper, that's kind of what happens when the fibers are sticking up. So when you're staying in a hotel, you're not sleeping 99.9% of the time. You're not sleeping on nice linens. They're just ironed, and they feel great because they're ironed. And they'll also last longer if they're ironed. They're also help prevent wrinkles. I mean, we get wrinkles, we earn those, but it's a huge difference if you sleep on an ironed pillowcase versus an unironed pillowcase for your hair, for your face. We have cotton and silk ones that are amazing for that as well. And we also have micromodal, which is good for that sort of thing. But ironing's quick and easy. I actually just posted a video on YouTube last night, my first video. So first time editing in my life. So please bear with me. But a lot of people have been asking me about that. So I have a whole little talk about ironing that people can check out on Kearsley's YouTube channel. Well, I believe the title is "Why Should I Iron My Sheets?" or "Why Should You Iron Your Sheets?" Something like that.
The other thing is I got to ask, and I think this is a really important question. But like, how do you fold a fitted sheet? Like,
well, the guy's showing it properly, so I actually can do a video on that. I promise you, I will. I was thinking I'd do that after our call. So you take, like he did.
I can't do it, Dan.
In each, just figure out how it goes. Or people who died trying to. Oh my God, will you send that to me? I've got to post that. But you take the corners. You take two corners first, and you put them together. And then you take the other two corners.
No one cares. Anyway.
Nope. And then you fold it and fold it. Hey, your linen closet looked fabulous this summer after I was done with it.
That was you. Yes, you and Emma organized my linen closet.
Yeah, Sean's linen closet literally has little P-touch, like what everything is in his closet.
But so it's a little more disheveled now after. Anyway, so tell me, so so let's get into the manufacturing process. Now, you've sourced all your stuff. You've sourced the cotton, and the cotton comes from where in the world?
So our highest end cotton is our Giza 87, which is the finest cotton in the world. You can actually check that out online or on our website. And that comes from Giza, and that's rarefied air. There's not that much of it. It's the longest. There's 38 grades of Egyptian cotton. Giza 87 is the longest, strongest, and finest. And it goes all the way down to grade 1. And then people can literally sweep up Egyptian cotton dust, glue it together, and call it Egyptian cotton. You also don't have to have 100% Egyptian cotton, but Egyptian cotton's a varietal. It's like saying Cabernet Sauvignon or Chardonnay. It can be grown all over the world. Some of the longest, the staple best Egyptian cotton in the world is grown in California, New Mexico, Arizona, and Texas. And the US doesn't process long staple fibers. So we send it to Italy and China to be processed as long staple fibers. That's one of our looms right there, shown in Italy. So we weave all of our sheeting in Italy. We weave a couple other fabrics in Belgium and Scotland, but our cashmere that's Mongolian is woven in Italy, and all of our sheets are woven in Italy. That was a little shot. This is the coolest machine. That is 24,000 threads getting loaded onto a warp beam right there. And that woman is like magic Spider Woman who, fixes the broken threads and makes it all happen. But you can see the massive amount of engineering and people that go in. This is before it's even woven. This is
So
after
so then that would go from there to this.
Yeah. So then that warp beam's loaded into that machine, and then the weft threads are loaded, and then here, this is a Dobby loom. It's a little different. This is one of our linens being woven, one of our Belgian linens, which is masters of linen quality. And the machines are just outstanding. It's original. Jacquard looms preceded the computer. This is really cool. This is our quality control. So there's a person that goes through and looks at this. It goes through and they watch every little thing. And then the hole's cut out of the middle of the 50-yard piece. And that's to check color. So that goes into a lab to double check that it's matching our colors. Whites are not all white. White dye lots vary. So, if we're need more than 50 yards or something that needs to match, because it's going into the same house or whatever, we've got to make sure we have the closest dye lot possible to that in white so that they look the same. But it's wonderful. I mean, as you know, I have a engineering undergraduate degree. So for me, it's a super fun to go there and be around these machines and the people who love them and the people that operate them. It's super fun for me.
So now so two questions. Now, why is your company more sustainable than, say, from a sustainability standpoint and an ecological standpoint? And I'm going to use an extreme example, your company versus what I find at Target. Because he just said that I can iron my Target sheets and they'll feel really good. But what's the difference? So why?
Well, the differences are going to go down to if you've got to look at all the processes. There's someone picking that cotton. Then that cotton gets processed. Then it gets spun. Then, if it's sateen, it's getting mercerized. Then it's getting mercerized. Then it's getting put through the machines. You saw all those steps. That's just a couple of the steps to make the fabric. Then it's got to get taken. Then it's got to goes through this really cool ironing machine and then folding machine. And then it's going to go to a workroom where people iron it and then cut it. And then someone's putting in the buttonholes. Someone's sewing each thing. And just do the math on that. So if you're buying a set of sheets that's $20 or $40 and you're buying it from retail, which has at least a 300% markup by the time you're buying it, people are not being cared for in that process. And yes, there's places in the world that are less expensive, but those people are working too many hours. They're not getting paid enough for what they're doing. And so it's a responsibility thing on the humanitarian level, for one thing, is making sure all the people in the process are being paid well. Secondly, our dyes are responsible. They're ecological. All, like I said, we're not putting chemicals into our sheets to make them feel good when they're done. We're just ironing. And so it's Ecotech Standard 100 Class 1. That's like the highest European standard possible. And we're only using natural fibers. We're not blending any fibers in. So therefore, like I said, they're compostable in the end. Like, I mean, my last 2 sets of sheets lasted 20 years. And then I kept sleeping on them until literally I put a hole through one of my pillowcases one night. And then you can just put them in the compost. So literally don't throw them away. They can go in the compost. So we're really careful to make sure at every level everything is the best it can possibly be, making it healthier for our clients and more comfortable, which is people's first priority.
Yeah, no, and like I rent my house out for a month, and like they've commented on the sheets that I have on the bed, and they're always like, it's like these sheets are amazing, and I said, yeah, I said, and then I give them a little bit of the backstory on them, and that makes, and they're even more impressed by them. But so for what differentiates you from other luxury brands, and I even kind of, just with the description that you've given me, like luxury, I think there's a bad connotation to the quote unquote a luxury brand, because it seems frivolous. And
Right.
what you've just described to me isn't frivolous. There's a lot of work in artisanship. There's a lot of work, craftsmanship. There's artisans that have been working on this process to produce those sheets. And it's something that if you amortize over 20 years is much better for the environment, much better for you, and a greater value,
Yeah.
greater value to you. So again, don't really quite want to use the word luxury brand, but say like other companies that sell sheets at similar price points, or products at similar price points. What differentiates you?
Well, we have our own look, and we also offer the Giza 87. But I'd say for us, there's a couple brands that are pretty comparable and amazing, like Julia B. If you want hand embroidered, we refer people to her all the time. And Fratesi is cut and sewn by the same exact women and men that are making Kearsley. We're in the same exact workroom. And Frette used to be made by those people and no longer being made in Italy, but it's
Frette is being made in China now.
Yeah, they go into Italy and then get labeled and sold into the US as made in Italy. So the entire workforce they used to cut and sew for Frette are now cutting and sewing for Fratesi and Kearsley. So they're family workrooms in northern Italy, Lombardia, Como. It's just a wonderful setup. We work with the old owner and manager of Frette as our production manager in Italy. So wonderful human being, one of my favorite people on the planet. One of the things that Kearsley does is really work with our clients to match you with what you need. And you and I were talking about that yesterday. If you're someone who does fake tanning cream, right? You don't want white sheets. You don't want ivory sheets. You are going to constantly be in a battle and having to use bleach, which is not good for you on a regular basis. You're going to wear your sheets out faster too. Colored sheets are fabulous, and we have lots of options there, far more than anybody else in our price range. One of the things I wanted to talk to you a little bit about is especially in the boating industry, captains will tend to work with the chief stews and go like, okay, get a good, better, best quote on the linens for the boat. And the boats and the household managers and people in general tend to go with the better because it's somewhere in the middle. But for the most part, it's the worst value of all of them because it's basically the low end with better marketing and a bigger margin in the middle. And you get up to the high end where we are, and we have the smallest margin. We're giving you the best quality product for what your dollar value is. And, we are very, very careful to have everything perfect. The sewing's perfect. The hems are fully rolled so that they're going to last longer, that sort of thing. Tiny stitches, which take way longer to sew.
Well, the other thing I even love your packaging.
Oh,
It just, I mean, it comes like when it arrives, you're opening something special. And what you did for Jason and Adam, for those of you, I'm on another show called Anchor Watch on the Up and Adam channel too, and you provided sheets for them. And that was one of the things that they were so impressed with was the packaging that it came. They were like, oh my God. And he was like, he just took his time opening up, and there was like a little wax seal and a personal note from you. And it really made the whole experience special. And that's, I personally, I think one of the big differentiators between you and a lot of and I think all of your competitors is that, if you're a high net worth person and you've got houses, planes, yachts, the whole 9 yards, and you've got different people working from you, is like you will give personal attention to each one of those. You're not going to send the same set of sheets to the plane as you are to the house or you are to or the boat. They're all going to be bespoke. They're all going to fit. And you explain the process of each fitting clearly. I mean, so it's like you don't have to show up at all these different places, but your instructions on how to measure are simple to understand and easy to implement, so that they get that when they show up, your products are good to go. Yeah, no, I mean,
we also partner with some people who make boat mattresses and jet mattresses, so that they often do the bottom fitted sheets for us, just so that they're perfect. We send them our fabric, they sell the bottom fitted sheets, we do the rest. One of the things about our packaging is there's a lot of linens. Like one of our neighbors brought over all these boxes. They bought 4 pillowcases when they had to stay at a Marriott. They bought 4 season sheets, and the amount of paper and cardboard that was used for these 4 pillowcases was appalling. On top of that, then they came shipped in another outside box, and our packaging is one piece. So it's shipped in the same box that you open. It's beautiful. We have tissue paper, we have ribbon. Like you said, I always write a specific note. I mean, everything is made per order. We stock a few things, but for the most part, people really want things how they want them. We were talking about last night, if you're a really big person, think about how much higher off the bed you are. You need a bigger drop on your top sheet. And so, like, I often ask interior designers, like, are either one of the clients large? We can do dual zone sleeping. He's hot, she's cold. We can do the duvets separate sides. We can put a cashmere blanket in thinly between the colder person. Really, it's about making it comfortable for everybody. And on top of looking fabulous, of course.
You do. Yeah, your stuff is good. And one final note, longevity is like the stuff you did for Latitude. I think that was like 2013 is still being used on board the boat and still looks as good as the day that you shipped it to us. If there's any comments or any questions out there in TV viewer land, now's the time. If not, Heather, any final words?
Oh boy. Well, I highly recommend that people invest in high quality linens for themselves and kind of stop listening to the hype of stuff that's made in Asia that's saying it's a better value. A lot of the mid-range companies are owned by very wealthy investment companies. So you might want to look into who owns the company that you're buying from just to get a better idea. But I got to say, we have very happy customers, and we tend to develop good, long relationships with our clients as well. My business partner is my mom. So if you ever call or get an email from Gail, that's my mom, who's an absolute master seamstress.
And don't forget your daughter, Emma, who's your other little business partner.
Yeah, but she doesn't answer the phones.
You don't have her answering the phone yet?
No, but she is learning to sew. So she's
she can fold. She's a good folder.
She is a good folder. And I would say that the best thing is follow us on our at Kearsley Official or yeah, that stuff. H Kearsley Life is me, and I'm constantly posting things on our website and doing blogs. So we only touched on like the tip of the iceberg of all this cool stuff. But
one of the and just one like the I remember you sent me you were on Clubhouse doing a I think it was an hour-long talk on linens, and I was thinking about, and you're like, you got to listen to it, and I was like, anyway, I freaking listened to the whole thing and enjoyed it. It was one time I watched a documentary on the font Helvetica, and you're like, what the heck? How can Helvetica be interesting? And it was brilliant. It was brilliant. And Heather brilliantly, her videos are great. If you get a chance, I think if it's still on, is that still on? Is Clubhouse even still around anymore? But if you can get a copy, I would post that on your website, because that's a great blog or podcast.
Yeah, I don't know if that's still around. I don't know if I don't think you're allowed to download it. It has to be on Clubhouse. There was some weirdness around that.
Anyway,
I don't have it on my phone anymore. I know I deleted mine, but I'm interviewed pretty regularly, and I'm trying to do more videos. I also just did a talk. I was invited down to Dallas by for a conference called Inspire. That's for ASID, the American Society of Interior Designers, which I am also a professional member, to talk about understanding, caring for, and specifying fine linens. And for the first time, we recorded it. And it needs some serious editing because the way they were set up, I had to keep moving out of the camera. But I will start posting those things too. And especially for any of the house managers or private clients you just want like one or two really great sets for yourself, they're a worthwhile investment. They're like buying good shoes, and
we all know you've got good shoes.
Categorized. What?
We all know you've got good shoes.
I know. I'm wearing a pair I bought in 2000 in Milan. They're still wear them all the time. But I'm all about buying quality things that last, as you know, and making them. So we also do table linens. We make great bath towels. As we touched on, we make towels and blankets, and we sell our fabrics by the yard to the interior design trade.
Yeah, you have the one thing that I didn't touch upon is like you've also got, what was the collection that you kind of inherited, that you've got a bunch of famous designers? Yeah.
So Barbara Beckman was one of the most iconic textile designers of last century and well into this century, quite frankly. She was one of my mentors. She had launched Kearsley at her showroom in San Francisco for the San Francisco market. Darling person, also lived in Sonoma, California, like me. And she sadly passed away from cancer about 4.5 years ago. And I was helping the family with some of the things. And in payment, they gave me these mystery 800 bolts. We didn't know what they were. We didn't know if they were done. She's very famous for batiks, hand painting, printing. Her things are amazing. And it's taken us 2.5 years to go through, catalog all of them. And now they're on a website called BBD, as in Barbara Beckman Designs, fabrics.com. You can also see them on the Kearsley website. There's a title in the menu that says BBD Fabrics. And they're the last of their kind. And you've seen her fabrics. Everyone has. Like, I remember one time I was at hotel, I think it was Cap Ferrat, the one that's out on the point. Anyway, Eden Rock. So I went into the bar, and behind the bar, it was like glistening off in the Mediterranean, was this silver Dupioni silk with their silver pesce. And we have some of that left. It looked like the fish were swimming. It was super cool. If you've been to any of the Wynn hotels.
Yeah, I made a shirt out of that.
Oh my God, it'd be a great shirt. It'd be great dresses, but they're amazing. And almost all the Four Seasons, especially the ones in Hawaii, have Barbara's fabrics all over the place. But we have the last of the last, and they won't be made again. There's only one company capable of making them, and they're not going to. I tried to make that happen. But absolutely stunner fabrics, and the photos don't do the justice. We can send out little cuttings, but we also help clients figure out what they need, and they can send us pictures of their room, and we help organize that. We have couture services. We have a service called Bespoke Light, where you can do any color combinations of designs we're already doing, embroideries, and it's really nice service without the incredible time and higher cost of full haute couture, which we do as well, which I love. I'm just finishing a project I'll be posting soon.
Well, on that note, plenty to do and see over at on Heather's website. Follow her on Instagram. Again, like to thank you on the very first of Luxury Spotlight on my YouTube, on the Worth Avenue YouTube channel, on the Dive In with Captain Sean series. I've done all sorts of videos on traveling in Svalbard, which is an archipelago north of Norway, Thailand, the Bahamas. All those videos are here. Uploaded today will be the highest latitude. If you get 25 minutes and want to watch a video that's really special about a trip.
Oh my God, it's gorgeous.
On that video, that will be live today. Anyway, tune in next time again for more luxury spotlights. We'll be looking at watches, cars, everything, and anything cool, anything unusual. If you have any suggestions, email me at sean@worthavenueyachts.com. And my next travelogue will be, or travel webinar will be, from the South Pacific. The South Pacific's big. We're probably going to start in Palau. But anyway, thank you so much to Heather. And thank you, everyone. And we'll see you next time.
Well done.